Oh, oh. Did you hear that? I heard that. Oh, that is jarring to the senses. Welcome to an incredibly messy studio. This place is so full, and look at this. There are constant tripping hazards. So, welcome to, this is a studio update video. In this video, I need to build a lighting grid on the ceiling up here. When we built this space, we put this. Check that thing out. We put an outlet on the ceiling for one main reason, which is that when I'm in this space eventually, the plan was for me to have lights and microphones and stuff mounted on the ceiling. I just haven't done that because I've just been, every video I make, I feel like I'm arriving and I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time for a second take, and so it all feels rushed and busy. And that's even more exaggerated because now that I'm working in Hometown Music, I only have like one day a week to be here in the studio. And so what I need to do is make the studio as efficient as possible. So the first thing I have to do, well, let me tell you what I'm doing in this video. In this video, I'm going to be turning this Unistrut. So if you buy just a camera lighting setting for a studio, it's like $4,000. But instead of that, I'm going to make my own. And so I've got a couple things going. I'm going to build it with this Unistrut on the ground, and I'm going to have these little ball-bearing trolleys. And so with these things, these can ride inside the channels of the Unistrut on the ceiling. So the first thing I have to do is clean out everything on the floor so that in case I drop one of these super heavy metal bars, I don't smash up a guitar. Seems important. So the first thing I have to do is clean. Second thing I have to do is mark everything off and then measure. And then the last thing I have to do is actually do some cutting and get some stuff mounted and put it up. So anyway, well, I guess it's time to get to work. The single ambition is that I'd be able to make videos faster and I'd be able to make videos better. And the big thing I need to do is to be able to access lighting and microphones from the ceiling and to clear up the floor so I don't have these giant tripod stands that are trying to murder me behind the scenes. If you watched enough of my videos or live shows in particular, I always seem to like trip and fall, drop something, knock something over. I've broken 2 microphones just because I'm tied up and there's cables and all that stuff. So the next step in this video is I need to measure and get the rails put onto the ceiling. They're going to be 10 feet, and so I'm going to center them on these 2 lights here in the middle. And so I will have 10 feet front and back, so 5 feet in front. We'll bring them to about here, which if you're faced the other direction, like that's basically right above where I'm sitting. So the hope is 2 things. When I get the 2 rails on the front, I'm then going to have 2 rails side to side so that I will be able to move. Effectively, I'll have 4 zones, but realistically, I can put as many of these hooks on there as I want. So inside the rail, I will have each of these wheel carriages. And so these are little trolleys. And so basically they're ball bearings that have this heavy machined aluminum, and then through them I can run a bolt. And so here's an example of what one could look like. And so with this, I'll be able to mount this inside the track. It can move side to side, and then we'll be able to hold. These are each rated for 240 pounds. So once you get multiple of these, there's nothing I will be lifting that is that heavy in this space. But these go on the rail, and then we're going to have all kinds of other adapters. And this is where I still have some monkeying to do. So this is a camera spigot, if you've heard this phrase. So on one side it's a 3/8 inch, on the other end it's a 1/4 inch. And so this tool allows me to, this gets me into camera mounting world. Big update. A couple days later, I had to stop and get some hardware. I literally didn't check that. Okay, gotta go back to the hardware store because I have to get some freaking washers. So I didn't get... Okay, here's generally what has to happen. The rail that's up there, if I have the washer inside with the screw, even though it's as close to the top of that as I can, the trolley just can't make it down the channel here. So far I'm still way ahead, but the amount of labor and fiddling and building this thing in my mind while I'm trying to fall asleep is adding up. Like, just buying a kit that you know would work. Anyway, So, here's the rail. So they're a bit heavy, but so here I bought these brackets. So these brackets have a hole in the top of them, and so they can be bolted into the ceiling up this way with a lag bolt. And I had to guess, and so the head of this is too small. So I need to go get some meaty washers or different lag bolts. 15th trip to Home Depot. Got a whole big box of stuff. In here, a couple things I did. Number one, I took this with me. I exchanged those lag bolts so that I can get these big meaty boys that fit through here. And so there you go. I got those with a washer. So boom, 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 boom. 4 of those around here. Then coming out of the carriages, I moved up to a 3/8 inch, which is the big boy coming off of the standard camera adapters. So coming out of each carriage, I can have something like this. Now this is exaggerated, but I got the 5-inch long ones so that I can do whatever I want. Man, I'm sweating. I sweat when I think. So anyway, well, they're both in. They're a little loose. I didn't snug them all the way up against the ceiling, but I've got all of the trolleys in, and so now I can cut the rails, and I can make my 2 rails that are going to go side to side. All right, let's make some sparks. Alright, it's been like a full week, but it's finally done. So let's go in, and I'll show you the lighting rig I made. Hang on, it's gonna be dark. Let there be light. Haha, look at this thing. Okay, it's very blue looking in there, but look, listen, you're even on a slider. Where are you going? Come back over. But yeah, so now I can slide you on the roof. That's probably really loud in the microphone. But, man, I did it. I was able to set up everything I want to do on the lights up here. Let me pull you forward. So, okay. So at first, I did Unistrut onto the ceiling directly with washers, and there was just not enough clearance for the carriages, for the trolleys to make it through. So then I had to buy the brackets, which meant I then had to attach them into the studs in the ceiling. I only did 4 because all of the hardware, that's where this thing did get expensive. So let me run through basic costs real quick. The Unistrut, they were like 35 bucks a piece. I got 4 of those. There was several hardware runs, maybe 4 or 5 hardware runs. Each were like 15 to 20 bucks. I had to just build this thing in my head a million times over. I ended up doing a couple things from Amazon that I couldn't get locally. I couldn't get the bracket hangers. Those came from Amazon. I'll put links in the description down below on those. One choice I made, pretty much all of the hardware coming off of this thing hanging down is the 3/8 so that I can hang all of my camera accessories off of them. So that's what I've done. They're 6-inch bolts. They all hang down low. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I can add 9, 10, 11, 12. So I could have 12 things mounted to the ceiling. Now one thing I am going to work on is this angle is still a little high, so I'm going to drop it down. But all in, I think I'm right around $400, which means in order for me, and I can even include the lights in this. These lights were about $195 for the 2 RGB. These are the 50 or 60 watts, and then I already had the 50 watts back here. And so, you know, all in, I'm like, at tops, 600 bucks. Now comparing this to the next closest thing I could find that would have the same system was going to be around $4,000 from B&H Photo, which, no offense to them, they just did the same thing I did. Now, I will say, this thing is fiddly, and it's a million tiny little details that are just a scooch annoying. But all in, I'm super happy with it, and the biggest thing is freaking room. I can do stuff. I can move around. And I don't have any stands on the ground. Now, I'll still use a tripod, but I'll take one tripod down here rather than a C-stand back there and another light for the fill. And I'm probably going to do a couple things with the lights back here, but there's so much floor space. That's the first thing I showed my wife last night, and she was just amazed at how much space this gives the room. So I have these soft boxes as well, and man, so all in, this thing works really great. These are on 1%. They can go up to 100%. Let's see how bright I can get this. Okay, so that's the ISO set, so it can't get any higher than that. Oh, I gotta figure out that. That's pretty wiggly when I touch it. Okay, so if I take my... That's literally on 1% for these guys. So if I bring those up, let's bring them up 50%. Oh, that's so bright. And then, so that's 52%. And if I take it all the way up to 100%, it's just super, super bright. So that's exciting because for all the guitar stuff, I can get all the light. In some of my videos in the past, to get a light bright enough on my face, I didn't literally have room in here to put lights down low so that I could get, you know, light filling on the guitar. Or I was shooting at an aperture that it just wouldn't let me film other things. So with this, I mean, if I leave these at 1%, I'm perfectly exposed. Now on the back end, I can do all kinds of fun stuff. Now on all of these, I can do this on everything, but I can really do it back here if I want to go to full-blown, let's go lightning storm. Let's go fireworks. Let's go police car. Or an ambulance. Or a fire truck. So, yeah, man, this thing does all of the things. I can also then pick whatever color I want off of here. I can move it around however I want. And then I can bring the brightness up, so I can bring it all the way up, super intense. Or I can leave it back down here like something sensible. Just give a little bit of fill and color in the background. And then same thing with my front line. But I'm going to be tinkering with this thing definitely for the next couple weeks. And I am thankful for your forgiveness and your mercy as I do this. Because, I mean, I'm working on this. I didn't go to school for any of this. I'm figuring all of this out as I go. I've been a YouTuber for 5 years now. And I'm starting to abandon my scrappy ways. And this is one of the ways in which I'm still saving money, but I'm also getting to be way more professional in what I'm doing. So, thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. This is Guitar Hunter. This is the studio. If you have questions, comments, or slanderous remarks, please let me know in the descriptions down below. And I'll do my best to give the hardware and I'll answer questions. If you are trying to build a studio like this, I could only find 2 videos in the last 5 years of anyone doing something like this. And I think that this is a great thing. So I'm going to work on, there's still a couple additions I want to do. I want to be able to move the lights down, and I can get there. I know how to do it now, but it's just another couple $100 I don't feel like throwing into it right now. So, thanks for watching. I'm Jeremy. I'll see you later. It's been a good one. This is a fun, different kind of video. Here's the moment of truth. New lighting rig is up, and I bought some real heavy fishing line, so don't freak out. I have hung 1 string of fishing line between this rail. In theory, this is 50-pound test. Might need to double it up, but which practice guitar do we try? Let's try a 70s Goya first, because this has 3 on a side tuners, so I can do that. Oh, that's happy. That's not going anywhere. Ha ha! It's levitating! There's no way in hell I am going to try on a Santa Cruz or a Firk or a Paul Reed Smith or a Custom Shop Jazzmaster or anything. Okay, let's try on this. Okay, we'll try on this for a couple reasons because it's also super light. So let's try this. And I'm putting it just behind the tuners. Ha-ha! Oh! Oh! Did you hear that? I heard that. How cool is this? I'm going to take a quick Instagram story and just tease. You've seen it now, but by the time you see it, this is in the past. My present is your present, but your present is my past. Oh, that is jarring to the senses. Oh, there's new ones. Fire truck. Ambulance. Police. Let's just go back over here.